What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to Sauce Sports. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is a Houston, Texas Homer Network. We talking all sports, but only Houston, aka the best sports talk show in Houston, period. I am your host, Ed Honcho. If you don't know, well, now you know. You can call me Senior Saucy, your Houston homeboy, your Houston Homer, all that good stuff. But today I gotta admit some things, man. I gotta talk about something. So the other day, I released a rumor. And it's not really about that in itself, but it's been, good. Like I say, welcome to all the new fresh ingredients who have come on since they've, heard about the sauce. So welcome. We appreciate all of y'all. And, all the haters, well, I wasn't fucking with it no way, so I don't really give a shit. But, and like I said, I addressed it as a rumor as it was. People want to nitpick and cherry pick the one time I did. And I talked about that last night, so I'm not going to get into that. I talked about that on the podcast. Not going to get into that. And like I say, I owned up to that. That's no big deal. But what's come about from that is, again, if you guys have watched me all year, I have been a defender of Bill O'Brien. And that's why I said, for me to say some things like that, it had to be from a perspective that I viewed as valid. But now, the more I think about it, I said, hey, man, 11-5, a guy like Bill O'Brien, he's not going to get fired. There's no way it's going to happen. I just can't see it. Doesn't make sense, It wouldn't be smart for it to happen. But then the more I look at it, the more I started thinking, somebody asked me a question last night after the stream. And so I got to looking at some things, and I got to saying, okay, well, I don't know. Let me see. And basically, kind of went to look and see, have many teams had success after firing a coach that just went to the playoffs? And you could say it doesn't happen as often as far as a coach getting fired after the playoffs, but I wouldn't say, the fact that it, having success after it may have happened even less, but there's only a couple of them that you can come across. You can look at, Tennessee just recently did it. They went to the playoffs, I think, last year, and they fired their coach. And we see basically got them the same thing. It's just the reason they benefited last year was, the Texans and the Colts weren't as strong as they were this year. So they capitalized off of that. Then you can look at, I want to say the Bears did it with Lovey a little while back. I can't remember exactly what year. But I know, and I don't think they've had success until now since that happened. So it took them a little bit of a while to get there. But here's what I did come across, and I found this extremely interesting. I found this really interesting, and to me, it kind of it may bolster the reason, it may bolster the case to maybe move on from Bill O'Brien right now and strike while the iron is hot. And I'm going to come up with a couple of examples, and I'll tell you why. Okay. These examples are more similar situations to what Bill O'Brien's career has been with the Texans, as opposed to, the Lovey example and the Malarkey example. And again, I think you have to take these into consideration. I think you have to take the situation that the Texans are currently in comparison to when these situations and what happened with these situations. Now, again, these were quite some time ago. It was a different NFL, but still something to really, truly, honestly think about. I want to take you back to 2002. Okay. The Chargers, San Diego Chargers, pick up Marty Schottenheimer. All right. 2002, he comes in, goes 8-8. 2003, 4-12. So you have a break-even record, no playoffs. Same situation with O'Brien, first year. But now O'Brien didn't have the piss poor second year, but we'll give the last season O'Brien to equate to that. Then 2004, you go 12-4, but you lose in the wild card. Great record, but losing the wild card. We go 11-5, losing the wild card, hosting the game at home. 2005, they go 9-7, don't make the playoffs. Now, we can't quite say that, but again, winning record. Ryan, 9-7, we know how many times we saw that winning record. 2006 goes 14-2. This is a year that they assume that, hey, these guys are going to win it all. They lose in the divisional. Okay, knocked out. had a great record, considered one of the best teams, considered a Super Bowl favorite. At that point in time, the Chargers said, hey, man, we're not seeing it. Again, with only one losing season, 5 years, same situation as O'Brien, few playoff berths, but not able to get past that boundary, not able to get past that next level. So you see where I'm kind of going with this, right? So Schottenheimer gets fired. Okay. They bring in Norv Turner. That very next year, the record's not as good, 11-5. But they get to where they hadn't been, and that is to the AFC Championship. So he takes them there to the next level. Now, you're like, well, Honcho, that's not a Super Bowl. But even around here, we said, AFC Championship should be the standard with the talent that we have. Super Bowl's the next level. But do you know a team that they lost to that year? Well, it was the undefeated fucking Patriots, who went on to lose to the Giants in that year. So, again, that was a tough matchup for anybody. Nobody had beaten the Patriots all year. So you can't necessarily fault them in that situation. They were about as close as anybody was going to get outside of the fucking Patriots. So there was a lot of talent on that team. That was LT, Rivers. I want to say they had Lorenzo Neal. Who else they had? I want to say Merriman was on that team. They had a couple other guys. Like I said, I want to say was Cromartie on that team? I think Cromartie. Like I said, a lot of talent on that team. Just like the Texans have a lot of talent in places and should be excelling from that. A lot of y'all don't know nothing about Lorenzo Neal. But that's one example, okay? And I got to hear y'all saying, all right, well, you might be on a little something here, but I don't know if I'm all the way riding with you, Honcho. Okay, well, I'm going to give you another example of teams striking when the iron is hot and making a power move. Again, a power move when it's necessary. Okay, and so that's what you got to understand when it's necessary. Even though you may feel like this coach give him a chance, sometimes you give him too many chances and you fall all the way off like we did previously with Kubiak. Let me get into this next point. I'll take it a little bit further back. Okay, I'm going to take you back to 1997, and this is why I say that this situation relates almost mirrors the O'Brien situation. So you're talking about 4 playoffs, 5 seasons, and a coach getting fired. I'm going to take you back to 97. Enter Tony Dungy. And a lot of y'all know Tony Dungy from the Colts, and he went on to get the big game there. And trust me, we know how that goes. But 97, 10-6, 98, 8-8, don't go to the playoffs. 99, 11-5, 2000, 10-6, 01, 9-7. No losing seasons. Okay, no losing seasons. Everything breaking even was his worst season. 97 lost the divisional. 99 lost in the conference. 2000 lost in the wild card, regressing. 01 lost in the wild card, regressing. Hey, they said, hey man, this team absolutely has too much talent. Something's holding them back. And the view on Dungy, just like the same view on O'Brien that everyone has, is that Dungy was too conservative, and that was the problem that people had with him. A lot of talent, too conservative. And you're talking about who was there? We were talking about guys like Keyshawn, and they had a bunch of, because I was trying to remember, I should have wrote it down because I forgot a bunch of people when I was looking up the information. But there's a lot of talent on that team. I have to go back, the Barbers, there was a lot of, you had Sapp, you had, there was a lot of talent on those teams, similar to these Texas teams. But I'll go back and we'll talk about this later because we will be live tonight, as every night, 7 o'clock. Discussing the Texans. I've been saying I'm going to get to the Rockets, but I meant to do it in the podcast, but I just ended up getting caught up and didn't have a chance to do the podcast today. But I promise you, before the end of the week is up, Rockets talk will happen and it will become consistent from that point forward. And I digress. But Tony Dungy fired in 2002, man. Who did they bring in? Gruden. What happens the very fucking next year after going to the wild card the previous year? On a 9-7, losing the wild card, they go to the fucking Super Bowl and they win it. About Brad Johnson. Okay, so I'm making these quick points, and I'll expand into it more later because I actually had some other things down that I wanted to. But I want this video to be, relatively short compared to the streams and things. That's where we can kind of dive into stuff, and I want to know what y'all think, man. I want to know if y'all, I know again, like I say, and this is why I say looking at these things really made me have a change of heart. I talked about the rumor and I thought about it and I said, hey, maybe, it might be the move. But then, I still felt, BOB's a winner because I bet, again, we called an apology. I don't know if I want to accept that. I said yesterday, okay, but I don't know if I want to accept the apologies. But if that is what helps you best identify, then yeah, I'll be a BOB defender is what I prefer. I like that name a lot better. I don't apologize for my damn self. So, but honestly, just looking at this, I want to know how y'all feel, man. What do y'all think? I mean, should the Texans really be striking right now? And I know a lot of fans, and the reason why I'm saying this is I always said, hey, if you're going to do it, put some logic behind it. And a lot of the times, the stuff you would hear from people to me didn't sound logical. I think even the round table say some of these names that people were really just throwing out there. A lot of people talking about Dabo just won the fucking championship. He's not giving a fuck about the pros. He's going to solidify that for the next couple of years. He has a chance to probably go down as one of the greatest collegiate coaches of all time, and especially for kicking Saban's ass a couple of times. Like, definitely want that on your resume as to dealing with the politics and bullshit of the NFL. Some of these other guys, again, I just don't see it. So what I'm saying here is I want to know your thoughts. I want to know how y'all feel. Hit that comment section, man. Tell me if you agree. Maybe this is a couple of good examples as to why BOB may, maybe they should let him go right now and try to find somebody fresh. And again, you're talking about bringing somebody in with previous experience, not a first-time head coach, a guy who has the experience. And I mentioned Harbaugh, and I said I would be okay with that. Let me know any names that you guys think down below. If you were to take this route, who would you replace BOB with? Is this a legitimate case for, firing BOB? Because again, like I say, it's one thing to say fire him, but then it's another thing to actually have a legitimate reason and a legitimate replacement. And that's my big beef with a lot of it. But with that being said, man, hey, Sauce Nation, y'all the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. Make sure y'all tune in every night, 7 p.m. Central Time. We will be live. Talking Texans. We'll start talking more rock. We'll start talking everything. It'll be more, up in the air. We'll just be talking pure sports. Like I said, as I get some things worked on and cleaned up, I get some more, all overall sports graphics and things together. So we can talk, like I said, a diverse array of sports. Like I said, 'cause this is a all sports only Houston, the best sports talk show in Houston. But I'm your host, Ed Honcho, man. Shout out to the round table. Shout out to Sauce Nation. Shout out to everybody. Notification gang, everybody who gets this first. Again, let me know your thoughts below. If you ain't got shit to say, at least drop a what's the motherfucking deal in the comments. But with that being said, I'll see y'all at 7. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, hey, y'all stay saucy, and I'm out.